Well, Carlos, it's nice to meet you here at SDSU. Tell me, when's the last time you were the most happy?
When was the last time I was the most happy? Um, don't remember. I can't think right now. When was the last, like, just a happy moment or most happy moment? Um, when I have fun with my coworkers. That was the last time. Well, yeah, because they're my friends, so they're cool.
And let me ask you this: what? How does one find purpose in life?
Mm, you just follow your joy. You
Follow your
follow
joy.
you follow your joy, and I guess that, yeah, just follow your joy.
Okay. And Carlos, do you feel like you found your purpose in life?
Hmm. Somewhat, somewhat. I mean, I like my major right now. It's philosophy. Um, which I mean, I just noticed that I think a certain way about, like, just mentally. I noticed my train of thought, and fortunately, I found that it was more like I tend to enjoy philosophy, so that's why I got into it. Um, yeah, bunch of stuff like that. Just noticing my all my inner drives and stuff, and then just allowing myself to go towards those innate drives I already have. Something like that.
Okay. And Carlos, what would you say drives you most in life?
What would say stress me out? Just that feeling of success. I mean, it's more of a feeling more than what I'm actually succeeding at. I think it's like a feeling of,
Accomplishing.
yeah, of accomplishing. I think that's because I'm very ambitious, so I love that drive, that ambitious drive.
Awesome, man. And last question for you, man. Thanks for talking to us here. Um, what are your thoughts on life after death?
What are my thoughts about, like, what do I think happens?
Yeah.
I think that the ego disappears, and you just return back to the quantum soup. You become you just you lose singularity, you lose individuality, you become everything.
Okay. So part of what we're doing here, Carlos, is we're also wondering, you know, considering stuff like that, what's their perspective on the person of Jesus? Are you heard of him? Are you familiar with him?
Well, I mean, I'm not a I mean, I grew up semi-Catholic. Like, we would go, but we wouldn't believe. I haven't studied Christianity uh, as much as to give an informed answer about Jesus. I mean, I have uh I've had experiences with him, though, like spiritual experiences, but not only with him, just with entities.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts on his teachings and the stuff he commanded his followers to do?
I mean, I respect. I mean, there's a difference between what some doctrines of Christianity say about him and what he actually did. So there's different representations of him, right? But I have selected an interpretation of him where he basically reached some sort of enlightenment that was similar to the Buddha, or just another master, who was connected to love, to God, and like awakened so much compassion in him, and he was a threat to the society of the time. So I mean, that's why he was killed. I assume. I don't know. I don't know these things for sure, but I'm just guessing. Uh, just the point is that he really inspired people to connect with God, with their inner power, whatever you want to call it. And
Actually, get out of here. There, he was actually executed because he was accused of blasphemy, where he said that he is God. And that's actually what led to his sentence to be crucified, the way that he was. Um, but I want to ask you this, Carlos. What do you think of? I'm sure you've heard of the famous verse, John 3:16. It's like, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son.
wait, what would you say?
That God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever would believe in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. And he said later on in that same chapter that unless you are born again, you cannot enter the kingdom of God. What are your thoughts on either one of those statements that he said?
I mean, there's just so many different ways to interpret that. I mean, I'm becoming more familiar with theology, and I know that texts like that, I mean, like verses, is that what they're called?
Yeah,
Verses
yeah.
like that, they can be interpreted in so many different ways. Um, I don't know what to think about that. I mean, I don't believe that Jesus, the what I would call a person who became connected with God, um, is the only venue through which some sort of spiritual connection with God can occur. Um, but I mean, maybe it is one way to connect with that which we call God.
Well, I'll leave you with this, Carlos. You said one way. He said in another verse that he says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life, and nobody comes to the Father except through me." And it's for things like saying things like that that actually led to him to his execution. And so, I'll leave you with this. Maybe just think. I would say maybe investigate some of the things that Of course, there's different um, denominations and different things, but looking into the claims of Christ and what who he said he was, who he claimed to be, and what he commanded his followers to do. I would say look into that and look into how, if it's true or not, because essentially, if some of the things that he said are true, then that really brings into question a lot of other truths that are out there, right? Um, so, yeah, I'll leave you with that. Do you have any other thoughts or questions before we wrap it up?
I mean, right now I'm studying philosophy, but that involves a lot of learning about different philosophies of religion and different faiths it involves in. And what do you call it? Right now, I am slowly and slowly I'm getting more familiar with Christianity, not like the religious part, but more so like the philosophical part of it.
Scholarly part, maybe.
Eh?
Like a scholarly part.
Well, yeah, I mean, it could be even studying just religiously could be scholarly, but I'm more so studying the philosophical um, uh, underpinnings of the teachings, and not only that religion, but so many others, and they all claim there's always a feeling like, oh, this religion is the number one.
Right.
So it's like, who do you believe? Because they all sound very convincing. So it's about yeah.
It's about pretty much what people choose to believe, huh?
Well, it's about yeah, I guess. I mean, if it benefits them, if they feel healthier psychologically, uh, emotionally, physically, then there shouldn't be any problem with anything, with anything, as long as it promotes good values. That's my take.
Really cool. Yeah, nice. I'll say this one thing that is a bit unique about Jesus is that even though he was crucified, he rose from the dead 3 days later, and that's essentially the underlying foundation to everything that adds to the legitimacy of Christianity is the fact that he not only taught certain things or modeled certain things, but that he actually rose from the dead, something that nobody else has
Yeah,
really
well,
done.
and I know that Christianity's. I don't know if Christianity is even the right word, but I'm just gonna say it like that. I know that Christianity, I've heard, is very unique in the sense that it emphasizes a lot of its uh, beliefs on the miracles that are allegedly occurred. Um, so that is very unique about Christianity. Other religions and other beliefs say, "Oh, this is what's very unique about uh, this this religion." Therefore, it's like, well, you should consider it. Like in Buddhism, the because that's the one that I'm studying at the moment. What's very unique about Buddhism is that the models of the mind that they that or I at least original Buddhism promotes are very very aligned with how the actual psychology of our brain works. Um, so that's just one unique thing that I'm not sure other religions have. It hasn't been mentioned, and it's interesting. The miracle aspect of Christianity, the shamanic aspect of other religions, mind the mind accuracy of Buddhist religion. It's fascinating. All of it is fascinating to me. To me, at least.